Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Bliss Journey. Today we're diving deep into the complex world of global trade and geopolitics, and specifically, the role of China in it all. Picture this: bustling cities, massive ports, factories humming with activity. From the smartphone in your hand to the clothes you wear, chances are, China played a role in getting it there. So, buckle up as we explore how China rose to become a global superpower, how it wields its influence in trade, technology, and beyond. Click here, https://www.youtube.com/@monirasainlam sub_confirmation =1. Okay, let's rewind the clock a bit. Back in the late 20th century, China embarked on a path of economic reform that would transform it from a largely agrarian society into a manufacturing giant. We're talking about a period of rapid industrialization, fueled by a seemingly endless supply of low-cost labor. Imagine factories springing up like mushrooms after the rain, churning out everything from clothing and toys to electronics and car parts. This massive influx of affordable goods flooded the global market, making Made in China a ubiquitous label on products worldwide. But cheap labor was only part of the equation. China invested heavily in infrastructure, roads, railways, ports, to facilitate the movement of goods within its borders and beyond. They built massive cargo ships and streamlined logistics, creating a well-oiled machine capable of producing and exporting goods at an unprecedented scale. Think about your smartphone. It's a marvel of engineering with components sourced from all over the world, but chances are, it was assembled in China. This incredible manufacturing capacity didn't happen overnight. China's emergence as the world's factory has reshaped global trade patterns, making it a crucial link in the global supply chain. It's a complex issue with no easy answers, but understanding how China became such a dominant force in manufacturing is crucial to understanding the world we live in today. Alright, let's talk about China's ambition on a global scale. And no, I'm not talking about conquering the world with dumplings, although that wouldn't be the worst idea, right? I'm talking about the Belt and Road Initiative, often shortened to BRI. Imagine a modern-day Silk Road, a network of roads, railways, ports, pipelines, and other infrastructure projects spanning continents, connecting China to over 60 countries across Asia, Africa, Europe, and beyond. That's the essence of the BRI, a massive infrastructure development project launched by China in 2013, often hailed as the most ambitious infrastructure project in human history. The goal? To enhance trade, boost economic development, and strengthen ties between China and participating countries. But the BRI is not just about building roads and bridges. It's about extending China's economic and geopolitical influence. Critics argue that it's a form of debt-trap diplomacy, where China strategically provides loans for infrastructure projects that countries struggle to repay, giving China leverage and control. Imagine a country struggling to finance a new port, turning to China for help. China steps in, provides a generous loan, and the port gets built. But what happens when that country can't repay the loan? This is where concerns about debt traps arise, with China potentially gaining control of strategic assets or influencing the debtor nation's policies. The BRI has the potential to be a game changer, boosting economic development and connecting remote regions to the global economy. Alright, let's talk trade. Because when it comes to the global exchange of goods, China isn't just participating, it's often leading the pack. Imagine a massive container ship, loaded with everything from electronics and clothing to machinery and raw materials making its way across the ocean. That ship is a symbol of China's dominance in global trade. China is now the world's largest trading nation, with tentacles of commerce reaching every corner of the globe. Its key trading partners include major economies like the United States, the European Union, and Japan, as well as a growing number of developing countries, particularly in Southeast Asia, Africa, and Latin America. Now, one of the key phrases you'll often hear when talking about China's trade is trade surplus. In simple terms, it means that China consistently exports more goods than it imports, resulting in a flow of wealth into the country. But this trade surplus isn't just about selling a lot of stuff. It's about control. Control over vital shipping routes, strategic ports, and the flow of goods that keep the global economy humming. China's dominance in manufacturing, coupled with its massive merchant fleet and control over key ports, gives it significant leverage in global trade negotiations. This influence allows China to negotiate favorable trade deals, secure access to raw materials, and shape the rules of global commerce. However, this trade dominance isn't without its critics, leading to trade tensions, particularly with the United States. Chapter 4. From Copycat to Innovator: China's Tech Revolution. Alright, let's move beyond factories and shipping containers for a moment and step into the world of cutting-edge technology. Because China isn't just content with being the world's factory, it's aiming to become a global leader in innovation. Forget those old stereotypes of China just copying Western technology. We're talking about artificial intelligence, 5G networks, quantum computing, electric vehicles, and e-commerce platforms that rival anything Silicon Valley has to offer. Think about facial recognition technology being used for everything from payments to surveillance, high-speed trains whisking people across the country, and a mobile payment system that's light years ahead of most of the world. China is investing heavily in research and development, nurturing homegrown tech giants like Huawei, Tencent, Alibaba, and Xiaomi, companies that are now major players on the global stage. But this rapid technological advancement isn't without its controversies. Concerns about data privacy, censorship, and the ethical implications of technologies like AI and facial recognition are at the forefront of the debate. China's tech ambitions are reshaping the global landscape, driving innovation and challenging the dominance of Silicon Valley. Chapter 5. The Yuan's Ascent: Commodities, Currency, and Global Clout. Alright, let's talk about money. Specifically, China's ambition to challenge the dominance of the US dollar as the world's reserve currency. Because when you're a global economic powerhouse, you don't just want to trade in someone else's currency, you want to rewrite the rules of the game. Now China's currency, the yuan, also known as the renminbi, plays a crucial role in this power play. For years, China has been steadily increasing the yuan's global influence, encouraging its use in international trade and investment. Imagine a world where, instead of pricing oil and other commodities in US dollars, they're priced in yuan. That's the kind of shift China is aiming for, and it has significant implications for the global balance of power. But it's not just about currency, it's about commodities. China is the world's largest consumer of raw materials, gobbling up oil, copper, iron ore, soybeans, and other commodities like a hungry panda at a bamboo buffet. This insatiable appetite gives China significant leverage over global commodity prices, impacting everything from the cost of construction materials to the price of your morning coffee. By securing long-term contracts with commodity-producing countries, investing in mines and energy projects, and establishing alternative trading platforms, China is steadily chipping away at the dollar's dominance. Chapter 6. The Dragon's Shadow, Trade Wars, Tensions, and Global Risks. Okay, let's face it. China's rise to global prominence hasn't been without its bumps in the road. In fact, there have been some pretty significant potholes along the way, leading to trade wars, geopolitical tensions, and a whole lot of uncertainty about the future. Remember that whole trade war between the US and China? Tariffs, sanctions, accusations of unfair trade practices, and a whole lot of economic anxiety? Yeah, that's just one example of the challenges that come with China's growing influence. The US, once the undisputed champion of globalization, is now wary of China's economic might, seeing it as a threat to its own dominance. And it's not just the US. Other countries are grappling with how to engage with a more assertive and powerful China. Then, there's the whole tech war. Remember Huawei, the Chinese tech giant that found itself at the center of a global controversy over espionage concerns? The US and its allies have imposed restrictions on Huawei, banning it from 5G networks and limiting its access to critical technologies. This tech war is about more than just market share. It's about control over the technologies that will shape the future, from artificial intelligence to quantum computing. And let's not forget about the risks to the global supply chain. The COVID-19 pandemic exposed the fragility of a globalized economy heavily reliant on China for manufacturing. China's rise presents both opportunities and challenges for the world. Outro: The road ahead, navigating China's global influence. So, there you have it, a glimpse into the complex and ever-evolving world of China's global influence. From its factories churning out goods to its tech giants pushing the boundaries of innovation, China's presence is undeniable. But what does it all mean? Well, that's the billion-yuan question, isn't it? As we navigate this new global landscape, it's crucial to engage in thoughtful dialogue, foster collaboration, and address the challenges while harnessing the opportunities. And hey, if you've got thoughts, concerns, or maybe even a hot take on the future of China's global influence, drop it in the comments below.